The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Dr. Grace is back. And Dr. Grace, we were talking about that we were teasing the audience that we were going to come back with this Ted Cruz, eligibility issue and how that ties into Obama. And I think a nefarious ploy going on, perhaps even a plot, dare I say conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
Well, the big news of the week is that Ted Cruz is the first Republican to announce that he will run for president. And, Carl, I got to be honest with you, here in the Northeast and around much of the country, it is electrifying the base of the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So most people are absolutely thrilled, and I know why they like him. I mean, he's taken a great stand against Obama and against the entire agenda of the Democratic Party. He has been true to his word. He's also a person that used to be the Solicitor General of Texas, and he's taken many cases all the way to Supreme Court defending Christian and conservative values. So there's a lot to like about him. He's an unabashed patriot. He's bold, he's brave, and he's really, really, really smart. Now, having said all of that, I'm going to say on my own show tomorrow what I'm going to say today, which is that we used to have a standard when it came to assessing. Is a person eligible? Now, I'm talking about somebody that I really like here, right?
Oh, yeah. I know. Me too.
Someone that
Me too.
I overall like.
Right.
We used to have a standard that in order to be considered a natural-born citizen, you have to have an American mother and an American father.
And be born on American soil.
And be born on American soil.
And that can be a military base, but you, as Senate Resolution 511 showed us in 2008 by the Senate committee. But you're right; those are the qualifications.
Now, throughout the entire presidency of Barack Obama, the media and many legal scholars too have come out and have said, you know what? The courts have ruled otherwise.
Well,
the definition of natural-born citizen is simply that you are given citizenship at birth to be an American without having gone through a naturalization process.
Yeah, but that's not true.
So,
that's
with
not
that
true.
definition, which now the media, if you look this up, it's everywhere in the media.
I know, but
with that
it's
definition,
false.
they're arguing, even if you're born on foreign soil, if you have one parent that is an American citizen, then you would qualify as natural born, and hence you're eligible.
Yeah. And Grace, I contend, I'm telling you, Grace, I promise you, they're doing this because they know very soon it's going to be outed that Barack Obama was not born on American soil. And I want to remind you and the listeners, there's not a hospital in this nation that claims his birth officially. Nobody will put it in writing. The past governor of Hawaii promised when he ran for office that he would produce a hard copy paper birth certificate to prove the birther's wrong. Not only did he not, but eventually had to admit he could not produce it. So you've got those things. Then you've got the fact that the thing that he did produce and put on the White House website is a proven, documented fabrication forgery. Nobody knows where this man comes from, at least publicly. There are people who know. And when it is,
on top of it, Carl, don't forget, and the one woman who certified that forged certificate is legitimate wound up dead in a plane crash that nobody can explain.
Yeah, the only one that died. And don't forget,
the only one that died.
Don't forget, Hillary Clinton was the first birther. She got blasted by the Democrats and the media when she announced she was the very first one in America to publicly announce he's not from here, and I've got the proof he's not eligible. And then she was immediately strangled by the DNC. And the next thing you know, she winds up Secretary of State after she has closed-door meetings with Barack Obama, who then was catching her in the polls when they were running for president. She was the first birther. So you've got all of that. But here's the deal. For people who say, Grace, that, well, the courts have ruled and you don't have to be born on American soil, hogwash. The latest legal ruling by a body who has constitutional authority to do so came from the Senate in 2008. Barack Obama signed it. Hillary Clinton signed it. They were both sitting senators at the time. It was an investigation on John McCain's eligibility, and they determined We therefore find that John McCain is eligible based upon the fact, number one, he was born on U.S. soil, Panama Canal Zone military base, and number two, both of his parents were citizens at the time of his birth. That is in Senate Resolution 511. That's never been trumped by a court case. The latest legal definition by a body who constitutionally has the authority to do so is Senate Resolution 511. So these media people who are saying otherwise, they're full of bunk. They're wrong.
Right. And the reports, if you read the reports, they're saying, well, there's a lot of ambiguity there because a case like this has never gone all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Doesn't have to.
That's what you're seeing right there
But
in a lot of the media reports.
Yeah, it doesn't have to, though. The Senate ruled on it, and they've got that authority to do that.
Right. Well, you know what, Carl? Right now, you've got a lot of conservatives who are making this point. If it was good enough for Barack Obama, it's now going to be a standard that's good enough for Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio.
Oh, I know. I know. But I'm telling you, Grace, the reason the media, they hate Ted Cruz. By the way, I love almost everything Ted Cruz stands for. And if it comes between Ted Cruz and Hillary Clinton, I'm pulling the button for Ted Cruz, legal or not legal. I mean, we've got to have some change in this nation. But I'm telling you, Grace, the reason the liberal media is shouting this from the rooftops because they know their man was not born on American soil and there could be a criminal case involved here, and they don't want to see him suffer consequences even after he's out of office. So they're trying to make the case, and they want us on the right to say, yeah, Cruz is eligible. And then when it comes out Obama wasn't born on American soil, they can say, wait, he's got the same qualifications Cruz does. Obama's mom.
Very interesting analysis.
No, that's what's happening.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why do you think the founding fathers, according to my interpretation, your interpretation, thought that it was extremely important?
I know why.
That both parents of the future president of the United States be American citizens.
Yeah, I know why.
Why is that so important? I just want to throw that out.
Yeah,
Answer the question for the audience. Why is that so important?
And you know why, and I know why. I've read their letters, and you've read the letters of the Founding Fathers. They were concerned about a U.S. president having they were concerned about foreign powers usurping the office of commander-in-chief for the purpose of destroying America, the very thing we're seeing happening right now by a man who has no birth certificate that he can proffer to the American people.
Well, you know what, Carl? It is a really important standard, and I'm talking about somebody who is going through the naturalization process. I'm talking about someone who myself, as a grateful Canadian to be welcomed on these shores, is my deepest hope that Americans uphold the standard that in order to be president of the United States, you should have a mother and a father who were born here, as well as obviously being born in this country. And it doesn't even have to be the reason that, as we saw with Barack Obama, was clearly turning American foreign policy upside down to the advantage of foreigners. It doesn't even have to go that far. Do you know what? Somebody like Ted Cruz, who is obviously a patriot, he's the opposite of Obama. I do not think he will do anything to harm this country. But he does have a Cuban father, which means that for so much of his life, there was a foreign culture in which he was raised.
Yes.
And even if you put the most benign explanation on that, is that what we want to represent this country?
Yeah, no.
That the future leader of a country be so profoundly influenced by a foreign culture, whether that culture be Kenya or whether that culture be Cuba or whether that culture be Canada? Is that what we want?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You've nailed it, Dr. Grace. As always, we're out of time. Tell people quickly in 10 seconds where they can find you.
I am the editor of Politics and Culture, so proudly, of WorldTribune.com, and I'm the host of American Heartland with Dr. Grace on WTSB Radio.
Okay, folks, that's Dr. Grace Voto, correspondent to Freedom Friday for years, a dear friend of mine. Dr. Grace, God bless you. Thank you for what you're doing. Let's preserve this constitutional republic together. God bless you.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.